Guess that's what I get for making fun of Fords all day. Welcome back to another episode of My Legacy Garage. I did a stupid thing. I'm probably going to really regret it. I bought a Ford. I just brought it home. I haven't been off the trailer. It was quite the chore to even drag it out where it was. I'll show you some pictures. She was in there, and I mean in there. Front wheels didn't turn. You can tell it's a Ford. I found it. Not on the road dead, but you know, it was on the road about 15 years ago. And the story says, ran one parked. You know how that goes. But those 4 letters in the front, they worry me because they say Ford. Ugh, what did I do? Why would I do this to myself? I don't understand. The front tires, you know, they hold air, but they don't spin. I mean, it drug it up onto the trailer out of the hole it was in. And the back ones, you know, they turned, but they're flat. And I put air in them and they held air for about 3 seconds and went right back down again. I guess one good thing it has going for it is it's a 2-door and it has the cool little like covers that go over the locks and stuff. I guess it's all right. I'm not really sure what's going on with this. Looks like a little bit of skim coat of Bondo. That's fun. It's rotten. Don't think that's supposed to move. I'm not even sure this door opens. Sort of. She's a little crusty. Somebody filled that in with paper. That's fun. Ingenious. I don't know. Tail lights are in it backwards. Does have that cool Falcon there that somebody just put just the ugliest fuel cap you've ever seen on it. With a key, because you know somebody's gonna steal it. I really don't understand why they would put these in backwards. Oh, they're not tight either. That's fun. That looks improvised. Why did I buy this? That's gonna make trying to start it interesting. It did come with keys. That's a perk. Oh look, that one sort of works. Came with his original Ford keys. Even says Ford on it. How many 1961 model vehicles still have the original keys? I brought some motivation along to help persuade me to open the hood even. I think it's a 6-cylinder. Yep, there's an engine in there of sorts. It's a 6-cylinder. No idea what size or horsepower. Well, don't know if it's stuck. Oh, might be. That's fun. The story on this car is it belonged to a little old lady and she passed away and it was sitting at her son's place. And the guy that I got it from bought it from him. He drove it 2 miles home and parked it, and that was the end of it. And that was 15 to 17 years ago, he said. So I don't know when the last time it was actually on the road is, like legally, but that's the last time it ran. Let's see if there's any oil in it. Oh, look at that. Just leaving a little overfull. Doesn't smell like gas. Looks pretty clean. I guess we should put a battery in it and see what that does. This is positive, this is negative. Well, there is no battery tray, like, at all. So, I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. I guess that'll do for now. Let's see if we can clamp that on there. Time for the fire test. Alright, nothing immediately burst into flames. That's moving in the right direction. I forgot that this has them removable fenders. Make it so you can, you know, open the door. Wow, that's a big hole. Well, the interior is all here. It's, you know, a little ratty. I'll make that a lot ratty. But it does technically exist. I see a keyhole there. Let's see what happens if we stick a key in it and turn it. It's a pretty big hole through the floor. Moment of truth. Ooh. Well, it's not stuck. I guess let's spray some go juice in it and see what it does. It's pretty crusty. Go juice for me. Go juice for the car. Well, that was anticlimactic. Stupid points. I suppose we've got no spark because the points are probably all gross and corroded. Boy, that looks good. Let's see what the points look like. Really corroded. Alright, let's clean them up, see if that doesn't fix our problem. Alright, let's give that a shot, shall we? Go juice, take 2. Whole bunch of nothing, that's what. I left the key on. Let's see what we've got going on at the points here. Nothing. I guess that means it's time to start tracking power and see if we've got power to the coil and all that fun stuff. I think this coil is toast. I think they just need cleaned up a little better. I'm gonna spin it over, see if you see spark there.
Okay.
Anything?
No.
Nothing? Yeah, the power's there. It's just the points are poop. Let's make no mistakes about it. There's enough in there to start a fire. We have no spark. Or no compression. I'm not sure which at this point. It does sound a little funny when it's cranking over, but it should still run, I would think. Then again, it is a Ford. I guess we need to pop a spark plug out of there and see what's going on in there. Alright, watch that spark plug, see if there's any spark. That confirms there's no spark, which means those points they're bad, like way bad. I guess the next step is going to be to take them out and try and clean them up. See if they'll work. I'm betting the chances of the local parts store having a set of points for a 61 Ford Falcon straight 6 are probably, they're not that good. I mean, you never know. I guess anything is possible, right? Look at that. That wire's loose right there. I wonder if we tighten that up, if we wouldn't have functioning ignition. Let's see if that changed anything. The way that the points work is when they open, they break continuity and they short everything to ground, and that causes the electrical field in the coil to collapse, and it shoots a spark through the cap to the plug depending on where the rotor's pointed. So when you open this, you should have a spark between them, and you don't. But like you just saw, it's there. If I go short across them, it's there. It's just that the points themselves are just too shot to create a spark. If this was a small block Chevy, it'd be running by now, but it's not, so it's not. The points are completely toast, and of course I don't have anything that'll work in it. I'm gonna have to try and get some points for it tomorrow, because as you can see, it's late. We're losing the light, and it's been a long day, and I'm ready to pack it in. Should have known better than to try and start it forward, you know, later in the day. It's like an all-day affair. I guess at this point it's going to be a tomorrow affair, providing I can even find points for it. We'll see. See you in the morning. It's the next day. It is not morning. It's afternoon. The bike got us. What can I say? It's a beautiful day out. We had to go get this part that's like 15 mile away at the parts store because they didn't have it right here in town. And you know, 15 miles turned into like 60 miles. Judge me if you want, but I had fun, and so did Jessica, and that's what matters. And now we're going to try and fix a Ford. I've really just been procrastinating about this all day because I don't want to do it, but it's on my trailer, and I'm going to need a trailer eventually, so I guess I'm going to have to do something with it. Put shiny new points in and see if it vroom vrooms. We've got a problem. These new points, they're not the right points. They're opposite of these. If I tried to put these in, these go in like that, and the cam rod's on there to open that. These, in order to get the cam to ride where it's supposed to, would have to go in like this, but this pin and this screw are set points. You can't move those. See how there's a relationship there? These will not work in this car. I've gone ahead and cleaned these up the absolute best that I can. We're going to give that a shot and see if we can get it to do something. You can always use yourself a little piece of the box that came in the gap points. You just want to make sure that you have your cam and your lobe so that it's open right there. And then that's where you want to gap it at, because if you put the gap in it while it was in the closed position, it's never going to open. We've got ourselves a little gap there, which is perfect. They should be open right now. Get the wires hooked back up, throw a battery in it, and see what happens. Just for S&G. See if that does anything. Let's try that. Yeah, I think we're going to get somewhere with that. All right, here we go. Take 238. Then again, maybe not. So I'm wondering if the brake cleaner isn't evaporating or something. I've never had an issue with that stuff being not flammable enough to start an engine. But this is a Ford, so maybe it's special. I don't know. Either way, we've got spark to the plugs. So either the plugs are all bad, it's not getting enough fuel, or it's just got zero compression. Let's try dumping a little 2-cycle gas down in there. That's a lot. That should be interesting. And then we'll try it. Well, I think at this point it's time to pull some spark plugs and do a little investigating, because it is not cooperating. Somebody explain to me why I thought it would be a good idea to buy a Ford. That's the best looking one that came out of it yet. Let's see if that improved anything. Of course not. Why would it? It's a Ford. So we took ourselves a little break. We went and paid our respects to a fallen officer who was escorted right through our little town here on the highway. It was quite the turnout. I was impressed by our little town. We also had to, go to the parts store again, because I did a little more digging into why those points didn't fit, and it turns out they didn't give me the right ones. And beyond that, it needs a cap and a rotor and all that stuff too. It's literally disintegrating. So I did the right thing and just bought new everything. I figured, it's a Ford, it needs all the help it can get. So we're going to see what we can do about slapping all that in there. By the way, if you like this kind of stuff, hit the like button. It helps the channel out. It lets people know, hey, this is a video worth watching. And that's a good thing, right? And while you're at it, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. You hit subscribe, then, when we put new stuff out, you can be notified and you can watch it, and you don't have to look for it. We're doing a giveaway. See the shirt? With the fancy crab on the back and everything? You can't buy them yet. I mean, someday, hopefully. But for now, you can win one. We're doing a giveaway. It ends on the 1st of June. The link is in the description. Go click it. You can enter. And we haven't ordered it yet because we're waiting to see what size the person wants that wins, because what good is a shirt you're going to swim in or that you can't wear, right? Do it. I suppose we should put all these parts in before it gets dark and see if it runs, because I'm not working on this thing after dark again. Why did I buy a Ford? Ow! Guess that's what I get for making fun of Fords all day. Alright, let's put some fancy pants new ignition parts in it. See if that'll make it do, you know, running things. Officially got the new points and condenser and rotor button in it. Now we're going to tackle some new spark plugs, because these things are rough. And then a new distributor cap, because this one, the center button is like disintegrating. There's like chunks coming off of it. So I'm pretty sure that's part of our problem too. The only thing we're not replacing are spark plug wires, because I really didn't want to spend that much money on it. I've already spent more money on this thing than I really wanted to, which is easy to do with a Ford. But I figured these wires, they don't look that bad. They're not eaten by mice or anything. They should be good enough at least to make it do something. Might not run the greatest, but it'll do something, right? I think we're ready to try it. That should be enough. Let's try a little gasoline. A lot of gasoline, that's fine too. And some brake parts cleaner. Now let's try it. Alright, so apparently it still doesn't run. I'm gonna go with because it's a Ford. That makes me angry, and it's late, and I have had just about enough of this thing. Well, spark is not our problem. Is it fuel or compression? Let's hope it's not compression. Well, that's pretty pathetic. 60 should be enough to run, just not very well. I shot a little brake parts cleaner right in the cylinder. Let's see if that makes it hit. Negative. Kids, this is why you don't buy a Ford. I mean, do they even have compression from the factory? I don't know. Probably not. Well, we could try the oil trick. That'll tell us if it's a ring problem or a valve problem. It's late. Let's try that real quick and see what that tells us, and then we're going to have to sleep on it and think about if we just want to burn it or run it over with a monster truck, or, you know, I mean, there's options. We're going to stick a little gear oil down that #1 cylinder, and then we'll compression test it again. And what I'm looking for is the oil all goes down in and gets down around the rings, and it kind of seals it up, and it'll build better compression if it's the rings that are bad, or it'll be about the same if it's the valves that are leaking through. So that's what we're going to test. That was a lot. Sounded like it. Oh yeah, that's much better. Sounds like the rings are a little rough. If we rinse and repeat with all of them, it should have enough compression to fire. We've got a little bit of gas, a lot of bit of gas, a little carb cleaner, and some brake cleaner. Give it a nice little cocktail to chew on there. We've got gear oil in all the cylinders. All the plugs are back in. We're going to try it. It should have compression for enough revolutions to fire, we hope. It did fire. I can smell it. It did a little something. We're running out of battery. New plan. Burn it. I like this plan. Probably shouldn't do that though. What we can do is let it sit with that oil in there. And maybe, you know, there'll be a small, minor Greek Easter miracle and it'll run tomorrow. But for now, I think we're going to pack it in and clean up. Throw the battery on the charger, and maybe we can start with a nice fresh battery tomorrow. See if we can get anywhere with it. Why did I buy a Ford? Day 3. The saga continues. It still won't start. Well, I don't know. I didn't try it today. Maybe I'll just fire right up. Doubtful. It's a Ford, after all. I got stickers. Jessica designed this awesome sticker, and we got them in now. So we are going to start sending them out to all the other channels that are part of the community, not competition crew. I am also sporting my team member shirt today, you will notice. It is glorious. to be part of such an awesome community. And if y'all haven't checked it out, in the video description is links to a bunch of channels that are in the community, not competition, and that mantra is, I don't know why it hasn't happened years ago, let's put it that way. Anyway, let's try and start a Ford. We're gonna try something just moderately different today. I've actually hooked a fuel supply up to it, you know, from the boat tank on the roof, as per usual. And we're gonna give her a little shot of the good stuff here and just try it. It's got a good charged up battery in it. You never know, it might do something. It tried. Let's prime that fuel up a little better. Maybe I can get somebody else to crank it while I fiddle with it. I'm gonna get in it and see what I can make happen in here. Oh, my foot went through the floor. Of course, we let that gear oil soak in there all night, so maybe the rings came back to life a little. It's only hitting on a couple cylinders. That should be enough to blow it up. All right, crank it. We have reapplied gear oil to the cylinders to build compression because I think it just lost compression again. And we're gonna try it and see what happens. So, say a little prayer. All right, crank it. Does that count as running? That's a little smoky. Let's try it again. All right, kick it. That didn't sound good. Did we blow it up already? Crank it. Let's let it sit a moment. Well, something is very definitely very unhappy in there. I don't know if it's maybe the flex plate or the transmission or the motor blew up, or the rings are half seized now after we burned all the gear oil out of there. I don't know, but it's definitely got a problem. Well, you know, it wasn't the most glorious of it runs, but it did start and run for a short period of time before it said, nope, not anymore. Yeah, there's all kind of stuff squeaking and rattling in there. I have a feeling something bad happened, but that's maybe another video. Probably not. I'm not a big fan of Fords, in case you hadn't picked up on that. I'm not sure why I bought this. Well, yeah, I do know why I bought it, because it was going to be scrap otherwise. And even though it's a Ford, it deserves to be saved. It's a salvageable car. Somebody that wanted one of these could do something with it, and it's a two-door, which makes it a little more desirable. I guess we have that going for us. As far as the engine goes, there's not that many people that would rebuild a straight 6, but I don't know, I guess if you wanted to keep it original, you could. It is a pretty original car. It even has all 4 of its hubcaps. So I guess if you really wanted to, you could. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel out and encourages me to work on junk like this for you. And share it, because normally, you know, in the olden days, I would just do it and kick it down the road and nobody was none the wiser, but it's fun to see all the other like-minded people out there, like the Community Not Competition crew. It's like a whole family I didn't even know I had. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.